Very.
Oh, now, Mr. Kirby, anybody can get mixed up.
Why, yes, of course. Penny, we should get these people some dinner. They came for dinner, you know.
Oh, please don't bother. We're really not hungry at all.
But it's not a bit of a bother. Ed, tell Donald to run down to the A&P and get half a dozen bottles of beer and some canned salmon. Do you like canned salmon, Mr. Kirby?
Please, don't trouble Mrs. Sycamore. I have a little indigestion anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about you, Mrs. Kirby? Do you like canned salmon?
Oh, I'm very fond of it.
You can have frankfurters if you'd rather.
Either will do.
All right, make it frankfurters then, and some canned corn and Campbell soup. Got that in?
Okay.
And tell Donald to hurry.
All right.
The A&P is just around the corner, and frankfurters don't take any time to boil.
Yes. And this is Alice's father, Mr. Sycamore.
Oh,
These are the Kirbys.
Please excuse my appearance.
How do you do?
This is Mr. Sycamore's busiest time of year. Just before the corn, like he always.
Oh!
Oh, darling, I'm the most dull-witted person in the world. I thought it was tonight.
I thought you... It's just that... have you all met each other?
Yes, indeed.
How do you do, Alice? Mrs. Sycamore, how do you do? I'm afraid I don't look very presentable.
Darling, you look lovely.
Of course she does. Don't let this upset you, my dear. We've all just met each other a night sooner. That's all.
Of course. Yes, but I was planning such a nice party for tomorrow night.
Well, we'll come again. We'll come again tomorrow night.
There, Alice. Am I forgiven?
I guess so. It's just that... Well, never mind that. We better see about getting you all something to eat.
Oh, I already took care of that, Alice. That's all been attended to.
Yeah, but Mother, what did you send out for? Because Mr. Kirby suffers from indigestion and can only eat certain things.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
Of course, Alice. It's all right.
I asked him what he wanted, Alice.
Yes, but...
Now, it's not as serious as all that. Just because I have a little indigestion.
See, Mr. Kirby, perhaps you don't have indigestion at all. Perhaps you have, say, stomach ulcers.
Mr. Colin!
Kolonkov. Wait. You'll have to excuse Kolonkov. He's a Russian, and Russians tend to look on the dark side of things.
Yeah, I'm a Russian, this is true. But my friend, whom is also Russian, died of stomach ulcers.
Mr. Colin Pop!
Really,
Mr. Kirby suffers from indigestion, and that is all.
We shall see.
Well,
So, Mr. Kirby, how do you find business conditions? Are we pretty well out of depression?
yes, I think so. Of course, it all depends.
But you think things are going to keep on improving, right?
Broadly speaking, yes. The industry is now operating at 64% of full capacity versus 82% in 1925. But of course, in 1929,
You'll have to excuse her. She's not quite accountable for her actions. She's a friend of Penny's, and she came over for dinner, but was overcome by the heat.
Hey, that's more.
yes, some people feel it, more than others. Perhaps I'd better take her upstairs. Pardon me.
Yes, it is rather hot. But you usually escape that heat, don't you, Mrs. Kirby, up in Maine? As a rule, yes. Good to say that this week covered for a flower show.
Mother wouldn't miss that for the world. The blue ribbon is a high class.
I won a ribbon at a flower show once. Raising onions. I see, that was a garden show. Oh, yeah, it was a garden show.
I think she'll be all right now. Has Donald come back yet?
No, Mother, he hasn't.
Oh, well, it won't take any time at all. I'm afraid he must be starved.
oh, no, quite all right. Hello. What's this? I didn't know there were any little children in the house.
Oh no! Pass by.
Oh. I suppose every man must have his hobby. Or do you use it as a model of some kind?
Oh no! I play with it.
I see.
out you had a hub like that, Dad, instead of raising orchids.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, do tell us about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. You know they take 6 years to blossom. Think of that.
Oh, some take longer than that. I have one that I've been waiting 10 years for.
Believe it or not, I was waiting for an orchid.
Ah, yes. Of course, during that time, they required the most scrupulous care. I remember a bulb I was very fond of.
Donald! Here we are. Did you get everything, Donald?
Yes, ma'am. Except they didn't have any break burgers, so I just got some pickled pig's feet.
Oh, never mind that. Take everything into the kitchen. Please tell them all about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. I know they would love to hear it. And if you'll excuse me.
So, Mr. Kirby, raising orchids, it's kind of an expensive hobby, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But I believe that the hobby gives one significant pleasure. It's never expensive.
Now that is very true.
You see, I need something to relieve the daily nerve strain. I'd go crazy in the week of Wall Street if it wasn't for something like that. I know men who have yachts, just for that very reason.
I don't think we have Wall Street.
How's that?
I was just kidding.
I think it's necessary for everyone to have a hobby. But to me, it's more than just a hobby. But my great solace is, well, spiritualism.
Hey, spiritualism. Now, Mrs. Kirby, everybody knows that's a fake.
To me, Mrs. Sycamore, spiritualism is, well, I'd rather not discuss it, Mrs. Sycamore.
You know, Penny, you have one or two hobbies of your own.
Yes, but not the silly ones.
I don't think it matters what the hobby is, as long as it makes one happy.
You see, a hobby should improve both the body as well as the mind. The Romans were a magnificent people. Why? What was their hobby? It was wrestling. And wrestling, you have to react fast with both the mind and the body.
Yes, but I don't believe wrestling's a very practical sport for most of us. I wouldn't make a very good showing as a wrestler.
What are you talking about? You're built for it. Look, you've got the arms, you have the body here. Look, give me a headlock and I will shoot.
Mr. Kirby, are you all right?
You're right, Father.
Next time, don't tense up.
I do not intend to wrestle again, Mr. Collincoff. Better sit down, Father.
Mr. Collincoff, how could you? And why didn't somebody stop him?
It was hilarious.
Grandpa!
I think perhaps Alice better be heading home.
Mother!
Mrs. Kirby, please don't go. Please, Mr. Kirby, please. I've ordered some plain salad and scrambled eggs. Please stay.
Look, I'm sorry if I did something wrong and I apologize.
Please, Mr. Collincoff, if I had been here.
That's quite all right.
Of course it is, Alice. It's all right. We're not going.
Well, that was exciting for a minute, wasn't it?
Mr. Kirby, you're telling us all about your orchids.
I believe I've quite forgotten about my orchids.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Kirby.
Look, what did I do that was so terrible? I nearly threw him to the floor to kill him. No, he's sitting in the chair.
Mr. Collincoff?
Dinner won't be any time at all now. I better go check on it.
Would you like some candy while you're waiting, Mr. Kirby?
My doctor did not permit me to eat candy.
Oh, but these are nothing. Just chocolate, marshmallow, and fudge.
Essie, don't.
Miss Alice,
What is it?
the eggs from under the sink.
Make some more quick.
I ain't got it.
Well, tell Donald to go out for some. Tell him to hurry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. There will be a slight delay in dinner, but everything will be ready momentarily.
I've certainly put you people into a lot of trouble with my stupidity.
No, not at all, Tony.
Why don't we play some sort of game while we're waiting?
That'll be fine.
Mother, Mr. Kirby, and Mrs. Kirby don't want to play a game.
Oh, but they'll love this game. It's perfectly harmless.
Well, you know, I do have a trick with a glass of water we could try.
No, Collincoff.
I've seen that trick. No.
All you do is write your name on this piece of paper and use the same on this one, Mrs. Kirby.
Mother, what is this game?
It's called Forget Me Not. I used to play it at school. What I do is I call it 5 words. All on sisters. Just any words at all, see? And you write down the first word that comes into your mind. For instance, if I say grass, you might put down green. Or if I say chair, you might put down table. Just anything at all, see? It shows the reactions people have to different things.
Come on, Father, be a sport.
Very well. I shall be happy to play it.
You see, Alice, he does want to play.
Well,
Everybody ready?
Ready!
Now remember, you must play fair. Put down the first word that comes into your mind.
I understand.
All right? The first word is potatoes. Everybody got that? The next word is bathroom.
Mother!
Bathroom. Got that? The next word is lust.
Mother! That is not exactly...
Now, Alice, that word's all right.
That word is not all right.
Oh, I don't know. Seems to me to be a perfectly fair word.
You see, Alice? Now you mustn't interrupt the game.
May I have that last word again, please?
Lust, Mr. Kirby.
I've got it.
This is quite an interesting game.
Grandpa. Now, the next word is honeymoon. Now, Essie. Everybody ready for the last word? It's sex.
Mother!
Everybody got sex?
Not anymore.
Now, give me your papers. And now, I'm going to read out your reactions.
I see. It's really quite an interesting game.
Yes. I knew you'd like it. I'll read your paper first, Mr. Kirby. Everybody, this is Mr. Kirby's paper. Potatoes, steak. My, that's wonderful, Mr. Kirby. See how they go together, steak and potatoes?
I just happened to think of it.
It's very good. Bathroom, toothpaste. Lust, unlawful. Well, and honeymoon, trip. Yes. And sex, male. Oh, yes, of course, you are. That's really a wonderful paper, Mr. Kirby.
Thank you. It's more than just a game, you know. It's sort of an experiment in psychology, isn't it?
Yes, it shows just how your mind works. Now, let's see how Mrs. Kirby's mind works. Everybody, this is Mrs. Kirby. Potatoes, starch. Oh, I know just what you mean, Mrs. Kirby. Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
How's that?
Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
I don't quite follow that, my dear.
I don't know. I just thought of you in connection with it. After all, you already made a great deal. Bathing, shaving, and... Well, you do take a long time.
Indeed, I hadn't realized I was being selfish in the matter.
It's a dumb game. Let's stop.
Yes.
No, go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
Where was I? Lust, human.
Human? Really? Miriam?
I just meant that lust is, after all, a human emotion.
I disagree with you, Miriam. Lust is not a human emotion. It is depraved.
Very well, Anthony. I'm wrong.
Really? It's a pointless game. Let's play 20 questions.
Yes.
No, I find this game rather interesting. Will you go on, Mrs. Sycamore? What was the next word?
Honeymoon.
Oh, yes. And what was Mrs. Kirby's answer?
Honeymoon, dole.
Did you say dull?
I just meant Anthony was at the hot springs was not very gay that season. All those old people sitting on the porch all afternoon and nothing to do at night.
That was not your reaction at the time, as I recall it.
Father, this is just a game.
A very illuminating game. Will you go on, Mrs. Sycamore?
Oh, this one's all right, Mr. Kirby. Sex, Wall Street.
Hey, Wall Street. What do you mean by it, Miriam?
I don't know what I meant, Anthony. Nothing.
But it must have meant something, or you wouldn't have written it down.
Just the first thing came to my mind. That's all.
But what does it mean? Sex? Wall Street?
Oh, I don't know what it means, Anthony. It's just you're always talking about Wall Street, even when... I think perhaps Alice we might be heading home. I'm afraid this game has given me a headache.
I understand, Mrs. Kirby.
Perhaps we are postpone the dinner, if you don't mind.
Oh, but you are coming tomorrow night, aren't you?
I'm afraid we have previous engagements tomorrow night.
Perhaps we better postpone the whole affair. The hot weather and...
I think we're being very gracious, Father. Of course we're staying for dinner tonight.
A very bad headache, Tony.
Come, Tony. I'm sure everyone understands.
Well, I don't. I think we ought to stay.
No, Tony.
What?
Look, we were fools, Tony. We were fools. Everything can work. Won't. Mr. Kirby, I'm sorry, but I won't make the